Here it is, charged up and off. I'm going to press and hold the button. I'm going to wait a second, and there it vibrates, and it's instantly on. I had it tethered earlier, so it's already preset the time, and you can see the battery strength right there. You just touch it, you get yourself your time. I don't think it's sensitive any other way other than the button. Now, it does have a little cover on it. Let's take that off. I purposely did not clip my nails yet. Was going to do that today, but in anticipation, knowing that ladies generally have nails, I might have something I need to peel off, and I do. And there it's done. Wow, now look how sweet that surface looks. And yes, I was able to set it for the twist your arm and turn it on mode, which you can either activate or deactivate from the app, which is nice. At night, you can turn it off so it doesn't disturb. When you tap it, you're in. You tap it again, you get your steps. Then you get your distance. Then you get your calories burned. Then you get your heart rate. Then you get your blood oxygen. Then you get your blood pressure. And then you get to a stopwatch, which I think if you press and hold, starts it once you let go. Press to pause it, press to start it. Are you in focus there? There we go. And so forth. Press and hold while it's running, and it resets it. And probably if you stopped it, it would do the same. Press it once, and it gives you what the model is, Z18, CB. One more press, and you're back to time. So, this is embarrassing. Hello, this is what it looks like on. You know what? It's almost set to my arm. This is right out of the box. Oh. I'm not going to force it. Oh, you know what? I'm a little far up anyway. There you go. There you go. See how I hooked it right there? And I can snap it down and wow. Wow. Well, it'll fit my average sized guy arm right out of the box. And it's almost at the end, so it's not going to get much bigger than this. But, hey, blue is a guy's color, right? Pink is for girls, and they do have it in pink and blue, and there you go. So I'm going to go over here to heart rate, and I want you to notice, when I tested this before, it was really fast when it came up with its reading. Of course, I wasn't talking. Trying to get a measurement. There you go. Yeah, 53, that seems pretty low by anybody's standards. So, as usual, give it a few jumps of beats to actually normalize to the heart rate that you are actually at. There, it's starting to settle down in the low 80s. I buy that. That's much more reasonable. 85, 86. Press it again, and now it's going to compute my blood oxygen. And we saw that in the little finger thing on another video that I did talking about heart rate and or pulse rate, heart rate, and blood oxygen. It had a little reading on there that'll calculate your blood oxygen level. And it was doing it simultaneously. And that's about right. It should be way up there because I'm breathing. Hello, I'm breathing. And that's a good thing. But, you know, if you're really working out, you're doing your routine, and you're starting to use up your oxygen in your body, then you should start to see this go down. And those of you in fitness know what that means and can act accordingly. Then you come over here, and in really tiny letters, you have your millimeters of mercury, mmHg, a little bar going up, and it'll give you your systolic and diastolic blood pressure reading. Again, we're not too sure about the accuracy of this. There's a whole, dissertation we could go into, a master's thesis on the accuracy of blood pressure readings in smart bands and watches. We're not going to go there. We're going to just advise you, cautionary, to use this for entertainment purposes. It's just for your information. Don't rely on it for medical guidance. Definitely see your doctor. I'm getting 123 over 81, and notice it jumped, and it jumped again, and it's going to keep jumping for a little while until it stabilizes and gives me a final vibration, and it'll leave that final reading on the screen for a few seconds before it goes off. There, it vibrated, 120 over 83. Make note of that, because once it goes off, and you touch it again and it's gone. It's back to date. Okay, so that's everything that this little jewel will actually do for you on your wrist, which is pretty nice. It's got the step counter thing in there, so it can calculate your steps and your distance and your calories burned based, of course, on the information you're going to put in the app on your gender and your age and your height and your weight and those kind of factors. All right, now it's time to switch over and see what the app looks like. Now, I mentioned that the app is called Wear Fit, which you can get from that QR code, or you can download directly from the Google Play Store. And there's an iOS app, as you saw, that you can install if you're an Apple fan. We launch the app, we get into it, and the first thing, of course, we have to do is bind it or link it to the bracelet. So I'm going to tap that button. It gives me all the things in the house that are asking to be tethered. Z18 is the one that we're using, so we're going to connect with that one. Okay, so we get this overlay page that gives us an idea of how to navigate. It says that menu is going to be in the upper left. A one-key measurement thing is up here on the right. That's really cool. And you can pull down to refresh. So this is your opening page. Pull down to refresh. Loads any data that you have in here. Pretty much fresh out of the box. I have not gone out and accumulated data, but you'll get a feel for how the app works, and we can take it from there. So when we get in here, you find that you've got the power of the band shown, and all these things that you can get into, including settings, which is where you can connect into third-party apps like WeChat Sport or looky Google Fit. So you can collect data on this device, translate it or transfer it rather over to the app, and from the app send it off to Google Fit, from Google Fit to all of your devices. So big check mark and thumbs up that we have Google Fit support in here. That's in our settings. User info is where you set this whole thing up. So it's a ladies' watch. Let's go in for that. 27, why not? Height and weight. And look at this. We can actually change it if you prefer to miles, and to feet, and to pounds. And these things all change. You can wear it on left or right hand, and the rule of thumb is you try to put it on your non-dominant hand for picking up steps, because you use your dominant hand all the time. So if you're right-handed, try to have it on your left wrist if you can. So that's all of the stuff that we've got there. Down here, you can go into a privacy reference mode for blood pressure. And when you do that, you have the ability to skew, if that's the right word, or adjust the blood pressure reading to be closer in alignment with what your known systolic and diastolic pressures are. The defaults as defined in the app are 120/65. But let's say that you have high blood pressure typically, and you're up at 140 over, 100. So we change that just to show you how this works. Over 100, okay. So where the blood pressure reading, and again, take this all with a grain of salt because we're not sure about the accuracy of these devices, but presuming that you have a baseline reading that is common for what your blood pressure is, have a doctor read that, make sure you've checked it, in a resting mode, and you got a good, accurate feel for what your resting blood pressure should be. Then when you're measuring it with the actual unit itself, it's probably going to be calculating an offset from that baseline. If your baseline is 120/80, which is kind of normal, they say, then great, put that in. If it's high, put in what's high so that you're more accurately representative of your true blood pressure. That was in the user info. Health Weekly is going to show us your weekly progress. The Shake to Photograph will set the camera up in your phone, if it finds it. There we go. What have I got? I've got Staples. There. You know what? I think it just took a picture because I wiggled my arm. What happens on the band is it comes up with this symbol that looks like a little camera, and if I have the camera here, and I'm going to be wiggling, it's a little out of focus, but I want you to see that as I wiggle the camera, now I'm going to shake my arm, and you see it got still? It just took a picture. So you can use this for selfies or as a remote trigger. You can set the camera up somewhere far away for a group shot and have it in this mode by going into the camera through the app and then just shake your wrist and take a picture. Shake your wrist and take a picture. Maybe you need to wave at the camera. Oh, it took a little while. You see, it took 2 of them, 3 of them. Oh, I'm going to have a bunch of pictures in here. And of course, you could just take a picture from here, I guess. And then you can exit out of it. So that's the shake to photograph. Run is where you can set this whole thing up. It'll download your map, and you start, and it'll take your phone with you and count your steps from your watch or your band, and you can accumulate the data that will be in your app on the phone. It uses the Scott map, or you can switch it to Google Maps. And of course, I use Google Maps because that's just the default here. It just works really well. User information, we're coming back to Health Weekly. We just showed you how the run works. Device management is about the band itself. It's 100% charged right now. I can find the bracelet by pressing that. It lights up the time, and it's vibrating right now. I can feel it on my arm. There's no sound in this. It's just vibration. Intelligent reminders allows you to receive reminder information about an incoming call to your phone or SMS to your phone. You're not going to read it on this tiny little thing because, as you can see, it's just got that little bitty display. But it'll notify you of that. And you have these kind of things. Pod o'clock, which I believe is setting an alarm. I haven't heard it called that. But, if you want to set an alarm clock, you can do that. Your sedentary reminder option you can turn on and have a start and end time that it will remind you every 45 minutes to get up and stretch. You can have an app to remind, and these are all the apps that are supported. So if you get a WhatsApp in or a Facebook update, you can have the band vibrate to tell you that. So it's not a secondary unit to read and respond to things that are coming in on your phone, but it certainly is something that can notify you of something that has happened that may call you to bring out your phone and deal with it. A simple notification capability. Then you have wrist activation. Oh, that's why it's not doing it. I got to do that. And now when I twist it, it'll turn the time on. There you go. I'm moving too fast. That's what's going on. You can also do hourly readings. Yes, this is awesome. Wait until you see where you have all your readings in the device. You set that, and automatically, no matter what you're doing, this thing is going to calculate and take readings of all of your vital statistics every hour and transfer that back here to the app so you can deal with it later. Firmware update is where you can come in. Notice that the band is at 3.05, and there is a later version, 3.06. I waited for this to show you. Now I can say the firmware is up to date to confirm it, and it's going to download and update the device with the latest firmware. So when you get it in, you're going to want to do that. And I'm not sure. Okay, it says it's updating, so I'm just going to leave it. Because it's so small and it doesn't have like an Android 5.1 operating system on it, it should update pretty quickly. You want to make sure that you're above 80% in the power. There it's starting to do the updates. You see the percentage going. Please ensure that the mobile phone network is stable, and because it's doing it from the phone to the band now. You see the circle going around. And if the upgrade fails, use the phone to continue searching for the bracelet, a Bluetooth, reconnect them, and continue with the upgrade. So once it's upgraded, it probably is a bug fix kind of thing, oftentimes adding whole new features. Not sure, once they're stable, they get in there and they tweak it a little bit. It might be an improvement in the blood pressure reading or better response when you twist your arm. Could be all sorts of things. It's not telling us exactly what it is, but it does tell us now that we are on the current 3.06